It's about that time of day again. My name is Joseph. Monday evening, October 30th. Welcome back to your nightly newsletter. We're covering crude oil, S&P, Nasdaq, gold, and euro this evening. Crude oil starting off as bullish, but one major price level on the chart tonight tells me this is most likely a range going into tomorrow's session. So I'm going to focus on failures. I'm going to use that two-try rule down in the battle zone on Tuesday morning. On the S&P is bearish with a spike in range pattern. But the two-try rule is giving me clues for a potential reversal tomorrow. And I have the perfect plan to find the entry. How about the Nasdaq? The Nasdaq is bullish, but trading inside of a range, which tells me to use the two-try rule and the pendulum swing for seller failure buying opportunities on Tuesday. And speaking of Tuesday, how about some gold? Gold is bullish heading into Tuesday's session, but we're trading a little too close to a major target. So my plan is to get back below the moving average for the most reliable buying opportunities on gold tomorrow. The euro is also bullish for tomorrow after a strong move to finish today's session, and my plan is to use the two-try rule to look for sellers to fail for a reliable buying opportunity on the euro off a key level of support tomorrow morning. As you can tell, I have a bunch of two-try rules setting up tonight's newsletter. We're going to learn all about how the two-try rule works. I've got a great newsletter in store for you guys and gals tonight. We have a ton of reliable trading opportunities setting up into the end of the month of October. We always have a plan for the end of the month. Before we jump in, though, and put the plan together for tomorrow, though, I do want to remind you, the only place to watch the full-length version of this video is on our blog at sidewaysmarkets.com. If you're watching the video right now on our YouTube channel, not to worry, there's a link in the description of that YouTube video. Follow that link. Come here to join me on the blog here at Sideways Markets and watch the full-length version. While you're here, don't forget, upper left-hand corner, make sure you join our mailing list. You'll never miss another newsletter. I'll shoot you an email every evening when our newsletter goes live. Follow me lower left-hand corner on social media, StockTwits, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, whatever your favorite flavor of choice. Follow me throughout the week for important charts, links, and updates. And speaking of charts, how easy is that? All the charts from tonight's video, have them on your computer for tomorrow. That's right. Grab all the charts and have them ready. Follow that link right below the video. Have those charts for you tomorrow morning. And don't forget, speaking of tomorrow morning, grab that free pass. Come out and join me as a guest in the trade room. You're going to learn more with me on that free pass than you will anywhere else on the interwebs. I can guarantee you that. If you're not an advanced member, what are you waiting for? Grab that free pass once you finish up the video tonight, right? And I'll see you guys tomorrow in the trade room. Speaking of tomorrow in the trade room, let's check out the calendar here for tomorrow. Tomorrow is Tuesday, October the 31st, last day of the month. And as we always say, at the end of the week, at the end of the month, at the end of the day, the week, the month, right, we expect to see increased volatility. We talked about this last week on the newsletter because, of course, we were going into the end of the month, right, end of the week last week. So here we are, finally at the end of that month. If today was any heads up for tomorrow, right, we're going to be looking at another volatile session for tomorrow. So anytime we have the end of the day, end of the week, end of the month, we always expect to see an increase in volatility. So tomorrow, keep it close to the vest, not the day to be going out and increasing position sizes, not the day to be going live on a new strategy, right? Keep it simple. Do what you've done so far. Let's get through the end of the month and we can work on improving and expanding our strategy, right, as we go into the end of the week. So looking closer here at the schedule for tomorrow, again, tomorrow is the end of the month. So we are expecting to see, right, a little bit of increase in volatility. I'm not sure what to expect because, of course, tomorrow's Halloween, right? So I would imagine the end of the day tomorrow will likely be a little bit lower volume, and that could either be very slow or it could really kick up a lot of dust, right, with lower volume and increased volatility. This could be a real wacky session tomorrow afternoon. So I'm going to keep my eyes and ears open tomorrow afternoon. I will encourage you to do the same thing. But as you can imagine, right, with parents going out trick or treat with the kids, I would imagine we'll see a little bit of a slowdown at the end of tomorrow's session. So increased volatility, early in, early out tomorrow with the old Halloween trick-or-treaters going around, right? And so keep your eyes on the time, right, tomorrow afternoon. I would imagine after 2 o'clock, 2:30, that's when you'll probably start seeing things really start to take a nosedive, volume-wise, if that's going to be the case. So with that said, tomorrow, looking at news for tomorrow, we first start off with the news tonight. We get some big news out of China, get some manufacturing numbers in the overnight session here, starting off at 9 p.m. Eastern time, so keep your eyes on that if you're trading the overnight Asian session. Tomorrow we have some decent news here tomorrow. We'll get some GDP numbers here at 2:30 a.m., right, from our good friends in France. And of course, we skip down, right, to the flash numbers here coming in at 6 a.m. Eastern time tomorrow. That will likely be the big news tomorrow morning of the London session. So of course, you're trading that 3 a.m. till 7 a.m. London session, right? That'll be your big market moving event. That 6 a.m. between, the news from Italy and of course the ECB tomorrow morning. And then don't forget, we open up our trade room every morning, 8 o'clock Eastern time. We don't have a lot on the schedule in the U.S. morning session. We get the GDP from Canada, right? Watch crude oil for any Canada-based news or any CAD-based news. Big exporter from Canada, right, is oil futures. So definitely watching oil around 8:30 a.m. Eastern time. We got some small stuff here tomorrow. Case-Shiller, PMI, consumer confidence. I don't get too wrapped up with those numbers, right? More importantly is the 10 a.m. top of the hour. That'll be the more important thing about that time of the day. I don't expect any of that to have big market moving events tomorrow. And then, of course, we'll come back and do it again tomorrow, but we'll talk more about tomorrow night's, right, big number from 9:45 from the PMI from China tomorrow. So really, it's a lot of overnight news. 6 a.m. news tomorrow. And then the U.S. morning session, we're pretty much wide open. Watch that 10 o'clock shock, right? Watch that top of the hour, 10 o'clock. And don't forget, I'm going to cover a lot here on this nightly newsletter, right? I don't expect you to learn it all. I do expect you, though, to take the initiative, come out and join me as a client, right? And we can do this together tomorrow morning. Speaking of tomorrow morning, and again, we'll see you guys 8 o'clock Eastern time. Let's jump into some charts. Let's get some charts ready to go. We'll go crude oil, S&P, Nasdaq, gold, and euro, right? So if you want to see all of these charts, make sure you're on the blog at Sideways Markets, right, for the full-length version. Let's go to crude oil. Crude is bullish but range-bound with a triangle pattern telling me to focus on failures down below the triangle, and I'm going to use the 2-try rule to find the most reliable buying opportunities setting up for tomorrow. The first thing you see when you look at this chart is that we finished today's session right on Friday's high. We slammed higher, we collapsed lower, and somehow we found our way right back to Friday's high at 54.20. This is why I see this market as being sideways, range-bound, and why it tells me to stay away from buying high tomorrow and focus on failures, buying as low as possible with the 2-try rule. Now you're going to see a lot of this tonight. We got a lot of topics tonight on the 2-try rule. You could look at this as the range. I would not argue with you guys right now. If you said, no, it's not a triangle, right? It's a range. I would not argue with you if you had this drawn up as a range right now. I do think that's kind of the meat and potatoes, right, of this chart. With that said, though, I am seeing a falling resistance trend line. I am seeing a rising support. And again, if you want to go multiple days of information, I wouldn't argue with you if you wanted to call this, right, a spike and channel. Oops, sorry about that. A spike and channel higher here. I wouldn't argue with that either. You can definitely see there was quite a bit of proof there, right? Those buyers, right, were using that as a level of support, right? Didn't last very long, but again, I think we're right on the same page. We're definitely bullish going into this move, right? After last Friday's runaway move higher, we definitely are bullish bias, right? I'm not ready to be a seller just yet, but again, the fact that we pulled back, went back up, collapse back down, and find our way right back to Friday's high. That's again, it makes me think. It makes me think that we're definitely bullish, right? But we're looking at this as price rejection, right? So price runs up. We see this rejection off the high, and so we can definitely tell we're seeing more acceptance down at lower prices, right? We can see buyers gladly buying below Friday's high, but not really too keen on buying above Friday's high. So let's put the plan together here for tomorrow. Should be a pretty easy one at this point. What I really want to see is I want to get down around these levels of support. Let's make these arrows a little bit smaller. Right down around these levels of support. There's a gap to fill. There's a prior swing at 81. Top of the battle zone. Today's low at 75, right? That little pullback area there from Friday. And of course, right, don't forget that measured move as well. So what I'm doing right now is I'm kind of formulating a plan here for tomorrow, right? I got these levels of support here, and that creates my battle zone. Really what I'm looking for tomorrow is I want to see a strong move down. That'll be the first try of the 2-try rule. Then I'd love to see it pull back, try again, and then once I see those sellers try once, try twice, and I see them fail, I then want to look for that chance to start being a buyer now, coming back in. Now, this is where a little bit of patience goes a long way. You know, for example, if I see a move down like this, 1 try, 2 try, and then back up from there, I have a ton of open space until I have to worry about falling resistance. That is much different than if we see it like this, 1 try, 2 try, and then there. See the big difference there? I do need to make sure I keep an eye on that falling resistance. I might have to look in terms of something like this. If we do see a shallow pullback, that will be a sign that buyers are more interested than we thought they were going to be. But I now need to get above that trend line, right, and look for the buy from there, right? So rather than buying into that trend line, then I want to look to buy using that trend line, not as resistance, right, but as support as we go back up. Easy targets as we go back up is going to be 54.20. And then again, if you got a runner left, right, 54.46 if you have that, right, if you have that runner, right? So again, 1 try, 2 try, and there's a few different ways in which this could happen here tomorrow. Maybe we see a 2-legged pullback, trend line, that's 1, that's 2, use that trend line as support. That will be an easy way to do it. Maybe we see 1 try, 2 try, moving average comes over, we get that back up for the breakout pullback from there. That's another way we can do it tomorrow. There's plenty of different ways in which we can get long. All we have to do though is look for that 2-try rule down below that range low. Now what if price goes higher? What if price goes higher? Well, same kind of thing. This time, though, it's a lot lower reliability. 1 try, 2 try, and sell back down in. So here's the problem. The problem is that here we have a strong move going higher, right? Remember this from Friday? I know the weekend was really exciting. I almost had a heart attack watching the World Series this weekend, right? But if you remember, if it feels like a lifetime ago, Friday's move on Crude was pretty darn strong, right? We'll call that pretty strong, right? So we definitely saw a real strong move going higher on Crude, and so we know that most likely buyers are waiting down here to buy. We saw rejection up here earlier. I have a very, very hard time being a buyer up here, that's for sure, unless I see a real strong move and they hold that pullback. If we see a strong move higher and they hold that second try, then I'm more than confident being a buyer because now we're seeing price acceptance above that high. But see how we went up, 1 try, 2 try, and then collapse back down in. That's what I'm looking for tomorrow morning as well. Now remember, we have a bull market, right? So buying over selling is preferred, right? But again, with the proper signal here, 1 try, 2 try, and then back down in, we can look for, right? We can look for that opportunity. I would definitely try to stay away from entering trades around that prior high. That'll probably be a pretty volatile area, pretty indecisive area tomorrow, right? And again, watch that falling resistance, right? That will be an area of interest or an area to avoid for being a buyer back up here. How do we turn bearish? Right, we're bullish right now. How do we turn bearish for tomorrow? 3 things I always look for a trend reversal: strength, pullback, strength. And if you think about it this way, I'm looking for 1 try, 2 try, and then back up to be a buyer tomorrow. Well, if we see 1 try and then 2 try continues, which you're going to see here in a moment later on Euro, right? If I see a 2 try rule that continues now, right? Now the odds are, okay, we're going back to the downside. Now we'll look for a new bear channel, right? So I'm perfectly comfortable being a seller here. I just don't want to do it until the market turns bearish. Don't forget, we're going to be in our trade room tomorrow morning. We're going to execute this plan together. I hope to see you guys there. Now, what a great example of the two-try rule in action. I mean, every single chart tonight has a really good example of how we can use the two-try rule for tomorrow. S&P is bearish with a spike in range. And the two-try rule is telling me that sellers are failing to finish the retest of today's low. And we may soon find ourselves, right, the bears may find themselves on the wrong side of this market going into tomorrow's session. The bears have control right now. The bears have clear control. So I don't want to be too quick to the gun, right, on buying right now, which what I need is to see some strength to the upside tomorrow, right, and then look for a two-legged pullback into support for a reliable buying opportunity from there. Now, I also don't want to forget about the sell side tomorrow, right? The bears have control, so we'll make sure we're ready for both buying and selling. If the bears can get back down to that 65.5, boy, we covered all the different ways in which we can use that two-try rule for tomorrow. I hope you learned a lot. Hope you use it to earn a lot. I hope you tell a few friends about this newsletter. Right? And I hope you guys will come out and join me tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock Eastern time in my trade room. We'll open things up and we'll plan the trades and trade the plan together. Don't forget, everything I've talked about here today, you can learn more about in our free trial. Right? If you want to learn all about the strategies we use here at School of Trade, go no further than the homepage here at schooloftrade.com. Join that free trial. You will not be disappointed. Also, don't forget, check out our beginner, intermediate, and advanced classes. And I'm always here to help you guys out 24/7, 365. If you are serious about your trading career, then I need you to take the first step. Become a client, beginner, intermediate, advanced classes. We've got great flexible payment options available for it, right? This is a beautiful opportunity for anyone to make a considerably change in their lifestyle by learning the skills necessary to be a successful trader. My name is Joseph. I will see you tomorrow morning. If not tomorrow morning, tomorrow evening, same time, same place. I am thankful tonight there's no baseball on television because I need a breather from the last couple nights here. Oh my goodness, what a World Series, right? I don't think I'm ever going to forget this World Series for the rest of my life. Until the next time, right? Until the next time. Bottom line is, hope you guys have a great weekend out there. Be safe with the kids tonight. All right, have fun with the kids tonight. Make sure you come back with all your fingers and toes, and I'll see you guys tomorrow morning. If not, I'll see you in the newsletter tomorrow night. Same time, same place. I'm out of here for now. Be well out there. Be nice to each other, will you? And be here next time. Adios, amigos. Bye-bye.